This video is going to cover Unit 18-1. And in Unit 18, we're going to be talking about quadratic equations. Now, a quadratic equation, if you were to graph it, it would be what we call a parabola. So this is my XY plane here. So a quadratic would graph something, maybe something like this right here. A parabola, either opening up or opening down, either way. Now, the general form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Some examples of that could be 7x squared plus 3x minus 8 equals 0. And in this case, a would be 7, b would be 3, and c would be a negative 8. Okay? So what we have when we solve a quadratic equation, we get what we call the zeros or the roots. Some people call it the roots or the zeros, the solution. It all means the same thing. And what we're doing is we're finding where this parabola meets the x-axis. So you can see here that it equals 0. So y would be what we have over here. And when y is equal to 0 in the xy plane, we have the x-axis. So the x-axis is where y is equal to 0. So a quadratic equation is set equal to 0, and then once it's solved, we're finding the spots where the parabola matches or makes contact with the x-axis. And that is called the zeros or the roots or the solutions, things like that. And because we have the highest power in a quadratic is 2, that means we have 2 answers. So if you had an equation, now this is not a quadratic, but if you had an equation like x cubed plus, I don't know, 3x equals 0, something like that, this equation would have 3 answers. So it would match, possibly, the x-axis 3 times. With the quadratic, we're going to match it 2 times. Possibly. And we'll talk about that possibly in a little bit.